Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
All right, I guess I'll go to John in Fort Lauderdale.
He's been waiting a while.
Okay, John?
Hi, this is Duran, actually, in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, Ron.
Oh, okay. They've
How you
misspelled
doing?
you. How you doing?
I'm fine. Wanted to note that I'm a black atheist in Fort Lauderdale, a former Christian. I
Okay.
just say that because there seem to get so few callers of that of this persuasion. But my question was, or actually a comment was, that I find that a lot of at least black Christians now are, in my area, are popping up little, small, put-together ministries and where they're gathering their money or raising their money and getting little spaces in small strip malls to set up a church and a ministry to supposedly reach and spread the gospel, the good word of God to people. And it seems like they can't step back and say that maybe I am myself just being, a little egotistic. And if there are already established ministries in Christianity in my local area, maybe I can raise money for them or help them because they're already spreading the word. But it seems like everyone wants to have their own piece of the cake to spread the word because they feel like maybe they're going to be the next T.D. Jakes or something.
Well, it's the Web 2.0 version of Christianity. It's the ministry that everyone can edit.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of where technology is sort of leading people these days. In that, there's no there's no need to actually have everybody on the same page. You can just you can just find your own little niche group and get your own crowd. Of course, that fragments people further and further, but then again, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, when you get right down to it, Ron, all you're really talking about is this is just sort of American free enterprise doing its thing, right? And so it's, they could probably go ahead and join established churches if they wanted to, but they want their own. It's like somebody decides to open his own pizza place instead of just going to Pizza Hut every day. He thinks he can do it better. So that really I don't see as being much of a concern for us as atheists, except that it does, bring back the age-old question of if this is all one truth, right, from the Bible, why are there 60 billion different denominations and schisms and sects and subsects and what have you? You'd think God would at least come down and clarify everything.
I think I actually looked up the real number, and it's like 38,000 now.
Okay, so I was a little high, but
yeah,
it's
still a big number, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, long and short of it is, you don't have to go to any of those churches if you don't want to, so let them do their thing. It's a free country. Big deal.
Oh, yeah, fully understand that. One last little topic that I had was that being down here, I'm in Fort Lauderdale area, I find a lot of young black Christians that if I happen to talk to them or they talk to me, however it starts, and they find out that I'm atheist, I can't really get past any of them on the Pascal's wager. I mean, I can tear it down any way I want to, but it seems like they pop it up and they mention it, but they don't really have never heard of Pascal, even though they're using it to try to get me back on the side. And it seems like at least in the black community that I find that they're so lacking critical thinking that they haven't even gotten beyond the part of their own belief that they're actually believing, partly because they feel like they have to choose something because if they die, then at least they, maybe maybe Jesus is real and they don't want to go to hell, so they have to hold on to something. And it seems like they're really not going beyond that they've been taught it and they're not beyond the point of even thinking about maybe that's not true at all.
You don't have to know Pascal to think that Pascal's wager is convincing. Just like earlier in the show, we said that Darwin's personal disposition is of no relevance to the theory of evolution. But what I like to say to mess with people who believe in Pascal's wager is, why aren't you a Muslim? If it turns out that Muslims are right, then God is going to be way more mad at those people who were worshiping Jesus as a false idol than us who just, stayed skeptical. So if Islam is real, then I'd put a lot more money on our chances than theirs.
Yeah. Pascal's wager basically gives you, if you genuinely think it's a legitimate way to go about your business, no reason whatsoever not to just go ahead and join every single religion on the face of the earth just to cover your bases.
Right. Plus, I should mention, I am God. And, you know, you can subscribe to my heaven guarantee for a mere $50 a month.
I don't believe you, Russell.
It's a bargain. Oh,
I think God's beard is wider.
For
and
the
longer
public
and-
access TV censors, that was not a real appeal for money. That was a joke.
Parody.
But as I was saying, you know, you can subscribe for $50 a month, and I'll make sure that you have a spot in heaven. And really, $50 a month is a bargain to make sure that you avoid an eternity of suffering.
Can you take the chance?
Right.
Right. I think what you're talking about, though, quickly there, Ron, I don't know. I mean, you have a perspective into the African American community, but I don't know that. I think what you're seeing reflected is religion in general, Christianity in general, and you'll get the same thing in most, particularly fundamentalist churches, where it is, you know, they just, it's all a big emotional appeal when you get right down to it, and they play upon, you know, basic insecurities people have, and I think that's one thing that religion has been very successful at doing. Not successful in terms of giving you maybe the right answers, but certainly making sure the emotional hot buttons are all pushed when it comes to managing fundamental insecurities about life and death and, you know, what it's all about. Religion has been very effective about that. And when you realize that people are very emotional creatures in addition to rational ones, and in many cases more emotional than rational, it's a pretty effective sales tool. Now, a lot of it's been mentioned many times that there seems to be disproportionately low representation in the atheist community of African Americans and other races and other non-white races. And do you know other African American atheists yourself, or are you the only guy you know? Have other friends, or are you?
I would say that I have been atheist for about 5 years or 4 years, and I have met only one in person, only one agnostic, and that's as far as it has gone. I joined a Facebook thing, Facebook thing. I mean, Black Atheist Alliance, I believe it's called, and that's about it. And that's maybe has like 120 members, and it's pretty scarce out here. At least when you bump into people, maybe you'll see them at Starbucks and you don't know. But as far as people that you get in conversations with, nah. People that talk to you here are Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're trying to, you know, convert you. You know.
Yeah. Maybe it's just that the church has been really, really effective in its outreach to the African American community. So
maybe.
Otherwise, but
we've had this conversation on the show for a couple of weeks. I think if you go back and listen to the last show in the archives that Jen and I were on together, there's a long run of calls from Black atheists talking about it, about that issue, and I think the following week there were more of those. But anyway, yeah, I don't know.
But thanks for calling and giving us your point of view, and just keep challenging them to think is all I can say.
All right, I'll do that. I love the show. I've been listening for about 3 years, maybe. I've heard all the shows.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Thank you for calling.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
All righty, though.
Okay. This is, we got 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
This has been an excellent one. Thanks, you know, everyone who's called.
Okay, and if you, you know, if you have been enjoying this and would like to get together and meet with us, this is a great day to come to Threadgills at 301. Oh, help me, control room. Okay, well, anyway, the downtown Threadgills on West Riverside Drive. There you go.
You almost had it.
301 West Riverside Drive, and I knew the Riverside part.
That's right.
6:30 p.m. We'll all be there. And it's going to be a lot of fun today.
There will be a big surprise.
So, let's see who we got.